All right, Khan. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom to the 12 tribes. Yasha, giving report. Shalom, the glory and praise. Unto Yahweh, Bashim, Yahweh, Shah. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh. In the name of Son, begotten Son, Yahweh, Shah. This brother Yasha, coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit by Yahweh, Bashim, Shah, Wabalak, Yahweh, Shah. All right, so I'm going to get straight into this. All right, let's go to the book of John, chapter 11. All right, let's go to John, chapter 11, and verse number 53. It says, Then from that day forth they took counsel together to put him to death. So who's the they? The they is going into the council, right? The high priest, the elders, the scribes, just as Yahawashi prophesied, and that the even the Most High prophesies about in the Old Testament, that Yahawashi should be what? Betrayed, right? That he should be betrayed and that he should be delivered up unto certain men, unto the high priests and the governors and the scribes and the Pharisees, and to be put to death for the nation of Israel. And these men in this council even understood that, right? And they actually did believe, right, that Yahawashi was Mahasiyah, and that they had to do this in order to fulfill prophecy, right? So they actually understood the Old Testament, you know. Certain of these Pharisees, not going to say all Pharisees understood it, because if they all understood it, they would have believed in Yahawashi, right? But it says what? Then from that day forth, they took counsel together to put him to death. So like, hey, we got to put this man to death, right? Verse 54, Yahawashi therefore walked no more openly among the Jews, but went thence unto a country near to the wilderness, into a city called Ephraim, and there continued with his disciples. So remember, Yahawashi is a representation, or basically we are the body of the Lord, all right? We are the body of the Lord, Yahawashi, all right? So seeing that we are the body of the Lord, hey, guess what? Whatever Yahawashi went through, we also have to go through as well, right? Let's go to that in the book of Matthew chapter 10, right? What Yahawashi went through, the elect, they have to go through that as well. It's the book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse number 23. It's like 24. It says, the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. So the disciple is not above his master. If you want to be a disciple of Yahawashi, guess what? He's the master. Let's get a precept on that real quick. Let's go to the book of John chapter 10. Yahawashi is the master. It's like John 11 and verse number 28, right? Let's go to John 11 verse 28. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, the master is come and calleth for thee. So Yahawashi is a master, and that's plain. Let's get one more precept on that. It's the book of Matthew chapter 5, right? Yahawashi is a master, right? Right. You know what? Actually, that's not on that, right? That's plain. Yahawashi, he's a master. All right, so let's go back to this in Matthew 10. All right, Matthew 10, in verse number 24, it says, the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. All right, so we're not above Yahawashi. So whatever Yahawashi went through, guess what? We have to go through it as well if we're disciples of Yahawashi. Verse 25, it is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more shall they call them of his household? So if you have, just like, for example, in the heavens, in the spiritual realm, you have Satan and you got Satan's angels, you know what I'm saying, on the left-hand side of the Father, right? So you have Satan and his angels. And his angels is just like Satan, man, you know? And on the right-hand side, you got Yahawashi and the righteous angels. And these righteous angels, they're just like the Lord, you know? They're always on fire. You know what I'm saying? They do the righteous acts, you know? They're just like Yahawashi, you know? So it's the same thing with us. We're disciples of Yahawashi, so we have to follow in his footsteps. Basically, what he went through is kind of like of a foreshadowing of what the elect have to go through as well. So when we go back to this in John chapter 11, right, John chapter 11 and verse 55, it says what? And the Jews' Passover was nigh at hand, right? Like I'm sorry, verse 54, it says, Yahawashi therefore walked no more openly among the Jews. So he didn't, from that time forth, he wasn't walking openly. You know what I'm saying? He had to go into the wilderness. He had to go into the solitary places. He had to separate himself and hide himself even much the more until the time was fulfilled that he should be delivered up, right? So he had to do that. And so the elect, they had to do that as well. That time comes when the elites, they're going to want to put these men to death, right? They're going to want to put the elect to death, man. Even the women and the children, right? And then in that time, the Lord said in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, I'm going to pull that real quick, right? And Yahawashi was as a pilgrim. You know, he was a pilgrim. Basically, he wasn't fleeing Israel, but he was fleeing from city to city in Israel, right? He didn't go outside of the nation, right? Or he didn't go outside of the land and kind of flee to Greece and flee to Rome or flee to Africa. You know what I'm saying? He didn't flee to Babylon, right? He didn't flee to these places. He stayed in Israel, but he was always on the move, always on the go, because he didn't want to be put to death until that certain time that the Lord wanted him to be put to death. You understand? So he had to be move as a pilgrim. All right, so let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 40. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. Just read it. All right, it says, O my people, hear my word, and make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth. So Yahawashi was moving like a pilgrim upon the earth, right? And he was fleeing away, right, because he was persecuted, right? And the Lord does talk about that in the book of Revelation, the 5th chapter, going into the 5th seal, you know, the persecution of the saints. So that seal is opening up right now, right? Verse 55. And the Jews' Passover was nigh at hand, and many went out of the country up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then sought they for Yahawashi, and spake among themselves, and as they stood in the temple, what think ye, that he would not come to the feast? Now both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a commandment that if any man knew where he were, he should show it, and that they might take him. You see that? That they might take him, man. And that word for take there in the footnote says to seize. So they gave out a commandment. If you see Yahawashi, you want to show it to us so that we may take him and seize him and put him to death. And they're going to put that decree out, you know, for the elect in the last days. You know, they're going to put that decree out for the men, you know, that believe in Yahawashi, that believe in Yahweh. They're going to put that decree out. If you have seen any man wearing fringes and a beard and confessing the name of Yahweh, Yahawashi, show it to us that we may put him to death. And they might put our faces on the billboards. They might put our faces on the internet. And this is kind of the equivalent of them doing that in the ancient world. You know, they gave out that commandment. If you see this man, Yahawashi of Nazareth, tell it to us so we can put him to death. Take it, you know, because this man, he deceiveth the people. That's what they say. That's what they said about the Lord. But nay, he deceiveth the people, man, right? So they were saying a lot of stuff about Yahawashi. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 20, John, chapter 10, verse 20. And many of them said, he hath a devil and is mad. Why hear ye him? So that's what the Jews said about Yahawashi. Not all Jews, but that's what some of the Jews said. He said he hath a devil. Imagine that. You saying to the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Son of the Most High, you got a demon on you, man. Well, that's madness. That's blasphemy. Right? It says, and is mad, why hear him? They said Yahawashi is crazy, you know? Let's go to the book of Mark, chapter 3. It's the book of Mark, all right? Chapter 3, right? And verse number 20. It says, and a multitude coming together again, so that they could not so much as eat bread. And when his friends heard of it, they went out to lay hold on him, for they said, he is beside himself. What does that mean, he's beside himself? He's beside himself, meaning he's crazy. He's out of his mind, all right? You know, you can tell you that right now. He's out of his mind. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's what his own friends, and which is actually going into his own people, right? His own people said that about Yahawashi, that he is crazy, he is out of his mind. Don't listen to him, right? And that's what people said about us. They say we're crazy because we believe in this truth, you know? But just shows you that with the elect, the Yahawashi went through, the elect also have to go through as well, right? So with that, all praises to Yahweh, Shema Mashak, one like Yahawashi, Lord willing, this is edifying, brother Yasha Allah, the water for tuning in. Shalom.